Hey, Vanessa. I couldn't help but notice that ginormous ring on your finger. What's the deal with that? Did your generous parents decide to shower you with their wealth?
Oh, hello, Joy. How are you? It's nice to hear from you once in a while. About that ring.
Oh, I can't believe it. You're a perfectly normal working age, and yet you're still shamelessly leeching off your parents? Ugh, I knew it. I knew it from the very beginning that my son should stay far away from entitled women like you. You're just too spoiled for your own good.
Oh, no, it wasn't my parents who gave it to me. Actually, it was Edward. He surprised me with this ring as our engagement ring. Isn't it amazing? I can't believe that Edward and I are actually engaged. I'm super thrilled about the future we have ahead of us.
What? My son actually gave it to you? And you're engaged? Unbelievable. Just can't wrap my head around this absurdity. So my worst nightmare has become my soul-crushing reality. Great. Just great.
What do you mean? Are you not happy to hear it? I thought Edward already told you about this.
Yeah, sure. Maybe he did mention something like that, but honestly, I thought he was just joking around. I could never have imagined that he was actually serious about it. If I had known about this little engagement, believe me, I would have done everything in my power to prevent it from happening.
But why, Joy? Why don't you seem to like the thought of me and Edward being together? I can't think of anything I've done to upset you. We don't interact much, to be honest. In fact, whenever I do see you, I make an effort to communicate, but it feels like you always avoid me. Can you please help me understand what's going on?
You know what? You truly take the cake for being the most spoiled, lazy, ungrateful, disrespectful woman I've ever encountered. It's a complete mystery to me why my son even chose you in the first place. Edward's such a catch. He could easily find a girl better than you.
Do I honestly come across that poorly, Joy? I mean, sure, I was fortunate to be born into a well-off family, and I'm beyond grateful for that. But please understand that I've never been lazy. I've been working since I could drive. Right now, I'm a nurse, and let me tell you, it's a demanding job that I genuinely love. I can confidently say that I'm pretty good at what I do.
Oh, here we go. Now you're here boasting about you've been working. Wow, congratulations. You make it sound like some extraordinary feat. Guess what? Everybody works. I've been busting my ass since I was 15. And let me remind you, I single-handedly raised Edward when his deadbeat dad ran off with some trashy floozy. And he is the man he is today because of me.
I'm sorry, Joy, but I'm not sure what you're trying to imply here. While I appreciate that you raised Edward into a remarkable man, I fail to see how that relates to the accusations you've thrown at me. Just because you're a hardworking person doesn't mean I'm not. And being born into an affluent family doesn't automatically make me spoiled and lazy. It appears that you're making judgments based on misconceptions, and that's simply unfair.
You've got quite a foul mouth, don't you? Let me refresh your memory about something that happened not too long ago. Remember back when you were still dating Edward? He was busting his ass building a house, working tirelessly day and night. There were times when he was on the verge of breaking down from sheer exhaustion. And what did you do? You couldn't even be bothered to lift a finger or lend him a hand. How do you explain that, huh? Just admit it. You're nothing but a spoiled little brat.
Just to clarify things, I did go over and bring him meals whenever I could manage it. But let's not forget that I also had my own work to deal with. Being a nurse is no easy job, you know? We have patients to take care of, and I can't simply abandon my responsibilities to constantly assist Edward.
So you're just going to use work as an excuse to weasel your way out of this? Just like you did everything else. Ugh, how typical. You might be able to deceive my precious Edward with that meticulously made facade of yours, but not me. You're not worthy of that diamond ring my son gave to you. Hand it over right now.
Oh, you're referring to this stunning 7-carat diamond ring? It's truly a beauty, isn't it? Edward went the extra mile to have it custom made just for me. How sweet of him, right? I must say, it looks absolutely fabulous on my finger. Yeah, I think I'll hold on to it.
What did you just say? A 7-carat diamond? That's absolutely outrageous. It must be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. And to top it off, it's custom made. You better believe you're giving it back to me, you hear? There's no way I'm letting you walk away with something so expensive that my precious son gave to you. No way. I see through your little scheme now. This was all your idea, wasn't it? You manipulated him into buying it for you, didn't you? Given how spoiled and uneducated you are, I wouldn't put it past you to pull off such a conniving move.
I'm really not sure what you're getting at, Joy. I never asked him to buy me that ring. In fact, I wasn't even aware that he was planning to propose to me.
What a deceitful little witch you are. First you managed to get engaged, and then what? You're gonna marry my son?
Yes, I suppose. I mean, what's the reason for us not to get married?
Unthinkable. Who do you think you are trying to become a part of our family? You better believe I won't let it happen. What you're gonna do now is hand that ring over to me or else you'll regret it. Trust me, you don't want to experience the kind of pain I could bring upon you.
But, Joy, if I just hand over my engagement ring to you, what will Edward think of me? He might get the impression that I don't appreciate our relationship or that I don't love him, and I really don't want any of that to happen. I don't want any misunderstandings between us. I know he spent a good amount of money on that ring, and I genuinely appreciate it. I feel so grateful that he gave me something so precious. No matter what, I'll make sure to keep it extra safe. I'm sorry, but I can't give it to you.
Are you planning on trapping my son to exploit him for the rest of his life? I absolutely do not approve of this marriage. You will never, ever have my blessing. If you dare go ahead with this marriage, I will despise you for the rest of my days. Consider yourself my eternal enemy. Edward, I can't even wrap my head around this. I absolutely can't believe it. Can you please tell me if your wife really just gave birth to my grandchild? Why on earth didn't you bother to let me know about this? I was completely left out of the loop. The only reason I found out was I happened to stumble upon Aunt Jane's Facebook page, and I saw the whole thing. She was in the hospital too. Why in the world wasn't I, the grandmother of the child, invited?
And can you give me a single valid reason why we should have told you about our child's birth?
What? Have you lost your mind? I'm your mother, and the grandmother to your daughter, for crying out loud. I have a vital role to play in her life, you know. You can't just keep her away from me like that. I have every right to see and bond with my grandbaby.
Well, I have every right not to inform you about the birth of my daughter, because you've never cared about me and my wife in the first place. From the beginning, you've been against our marriage, haven't you? You despise me and my wife. You hate the fact that we got married. So how can I be sure that you won't hate my daughter as well?
No, Edward. I would never, ever do anything to harm your child. What on earth are you talking about? From the depths of my heart, I've always loved and cared for you. I've been doing that your whole life. Trust me, I wholeheartedly adore your daughter just as much.
Seriously? If you truly love and care for me like you claim, then how do you justify the stunt you pulled at my wedding? You apologized for putting too much pressure on my wife and said you wanted to attend the wedding. But when the officiant asked if anyone objected to the marriage, you stood up and declared your opposition. You caused such a scene that we had to force you out of the wedding. What was that all about, huh? You said you had changed, but is that your idea of change?
Well, I might have said I'd show up at the wedding, but I never promised to give you my blessing and approve your marriage. Those are two totally different things, you know.
Oh, I get it now. So you were playing all innocent and sneaky, pretending to be all nice just to worm your way into my wedding and cause a big fuss, huh? Well, I've got to say, that's really low, Mom.
What's your deal? Are you oblivious to how hostile Vanessa has been towards me? From the moment we met, She's been nothing but abusive and filled with hate. It's like she views me as some kind of obstacle that she wants to annihilate. Seriously, do you want to marry a girl who bullies your own mother so relentlessly?
Oh, give me a break. When are you going to quit with your lies, huh? We all know that's far from the truth. Vanessa never once told me that she hated you. In fact, she's always made an effort to mend things between you two. She's given you gifts, offered to help you around the house, taking you to places you wanted to go. But you never seem to be satisfied with anything she does for you.
I already told you it was a damn lie. She's just so skilled at putting on a nice act when you're around. But let me tell you, that Vanessa is nothing but a bratty little princess. Remember the time you were building the house?
Mom, seriously? Not this again. How many times do I have to explain it to you? We were just dating back then, not even engaged. Why on earth would she have any responsibility to come to my house and help me out with the construction? She's not obligated to do that, and I never asked her to.
Well, I was actually at your house helping you out, and you don't even ask me either. So what do you have to say about that, huh?
That's exactly my point. I didn't ask for your help, and I even told you to go home and rest. But you were so stubborn and refused to leave. What was I supposed to do in that situation?
I can't believe you're still hell-bent on defending that witch and making me out to be the villain. She's been spreading lies and tarnishing our family's reputation, Edward. Remember when I was sick and ended up in the hospital? I overheard her coworkers talking behind my back, referring to me as Edward's horrible family. Can you believe the audacity? It's crystal clear that she's been bad-mouthing me to everyone she knows. It's about time you see her for the snake she truly is, Edward.
Do you really want to know why they said that? Then take a good look at yourself in the mirror and reflect on how you treated Vanessa while you were in the hospital. You constantly nitpicked and criticized practically everything she did, even though she's professionally trained to do her job.
But she did everything wrong. How could I not be furious?
Gosh, I feel like this is going nowhere.
See, even you get tired of Vanessa's abusive behavior. Now just imagine how it feels for me, an old woman, to endure all of that. The last time I spoke to her, she had the audacity to tell me straight to my face that she hated me.
No, Mom. From what I recall, she said that she hated how you've been treating her. She always made an effort to be kind. Remember what she did at Grandpa's funeral? She tried to engage in conversation with you and even gave you a hug. She was ready to move forward, but it's clear that you're not.
Come on, it was all an act, I'm telling you. She's an awful wife, and you need to break up with her ASAP. Everything I do it because I genuinely care, and I want what's best for you. You know that, right?
Answer me this. Is she my wife or your wife?
Well, I don't fully accept that she's your wife yet, but technically speaking, yes, she is.
Then you have absolutely no right to dictate what I should do with my wife.
Look, Edward, I honestly don't care about your wife anymore. I'm not asking for the world here. I just want to see my grandchild, that's all. Can you please just allow me to see her? Even if it's just once? But please make sure that your wife doesn't know that I can come and see my granddaughter.
I don't know, Mom. You'll have to directly ask my wife for her permission. I can't just let you see Rosie without her knowledge, and she's not going to be happy about it.
What? I'm not going to stoop down and talk to her, no way. You know she's not going to let me anywhere near that kid. Plus, it was her idea to not even inform me about the birth of Rosie in the first place, right? Of course she won't allow me to see my granddaughter.
No, Mom, you've got it all wrong. It wasn't my wife's idea, it was mine. The truth is, I don't feel comfortable including you in my life because you have shown no respect for my wife whatsoever. Here's the deal. Either you ask my wife for permission to see my daughter, or you won't get to see her at all. It's up to you to make that choice.
But that's just simply unfair to me, Edward.
Mom, what's the meaning of this? Why would you say such things about my wife? And why did you go ahead and post something so outrageous on your Facebook page?
Wait, what did I post? Well, I did write a bunch of stuff on my Facebook page, and to be honest, I can't remember a single thing I wrote.
Really? Do you remember taking a picture of me, my wife, and my daughter and posting it to your Facebook page? Captioning it with "the biggest scumbag I know," the one on the left? Were you actually referring to my wife as the scumbag? How could you even say something so hurtful? Despite all the crazy things you said and done to her, my wife still graciously agreed to let you see Rosie. And this is how you show your gratitude. Do you really hate my wife that much?
Hold on, what? I can assure you I never said anything like that. Where did you even read or hear that? Did Vanessa feed you all that load of nonsense? I always knew that woman was up to no good. She's just a spoiled brat who can't handle living without luxury.
I can't believe you're still trying to deny it. The post is right there on your Facebook page, for God's sake. It's your account with your name and your profile picture that posted it. How can you possibly deny that it's you?
I honestly can't recall saying anything like that. You'll have to trust me on this. I think someone must have hacked into my Facebook account and posted that. You know how easy it is for people to do stuff like that with just a few clicks nowadays. And Jane, for example, she's a pro hacker. She makes the big bucks doing that kind of thing every day.
Oh, really? Then who just took that post down? A few minutes after I mentioned it, the post mysteriously disappeared. Are you sure you don't have anything to do with this?
Oh, absolutely not. I told you, my Facebook account was hacked. The hackers took control of it, so they could write whatever they want and delete it at their whim. Unfortunately, there's nothing I can do about it.
Really? Then what about all the things you wrote on my Facebook work page? You were basically sabotaging my business. Have you even stopped to think about how much damage you caused? We lost crucial clients and contracts all because of your thoughtless actions. Don't even think about blaming it on some hackers. We both know it happened years ago after I married Vanessa. Is this your way of showing you love me? 'Cause to me, that's some twisted love right there.
Well, it's just that. I don't want you to have a happy life alongside that woman, Vanessa. I had this idea that if your business failed, you might come crawling back to me begging me for my help. I swear all I want is for us to be back together just like the good old days. I'm convinced we can raise Rosie better than your wife ever could.
You're messed up in the head, Mom. Listen up. My wife and I have put up with your insane behavior for far too long, but that ends now. If you continue with these ridiculous stunts, I won't hesitate to sever all ties with you and take legal action to ensure you never get to see your grandchild. Do you understand me loud and clear?
How dare you even think of suggesting such a crazy idea? You think you can use Rosie as a pawn to intimidate me? Let me set the record straight. That's not gonna fly. I'm telling you right now. And mark my words, both you and your wife will pay a hefty price for what you've done to me. You better brace yourself for my revenge. Are you ready to lose everything, my dear son?
Huh? Mom? What do you mean?
I recently heard from news that you're no longer the owner of a company anymore. Is that true? What a pity. Although deep down, I've always had a feeling this day would arrive eventually. But hey, just so we're clear, I had absolutely nothing to do with your company's downfall, right?
Oh, so you've heard about it, huh? Yeah, it's true. Someone else already took over my position. But what's this about me losing everything? I'm not quite following what you mean by that, to be honest.
Oh, please, drop the act, son. We both know exactly what's coming, don't we? Without your precious company, your whole family will be left starving to death. Let's face it, relying on Vanessa's measly nurse income won't cut it. I bet the moment she heard about you losing your job, she grabbed Rosie and ran off like the scumbag she is, right? I've been telling you all along. Vanessa is nothing but a leech, sucking you dry for your money. I can't deny it. This must be the happiest day of my life, no joke. So why don't you come back to your dear old mama, huh? The door is always wide open, ready to welcome you back.
So that's why you're so thrilled, huh? You actually believe that if I hit rock bottom, I would come crawling back to you for help? Well, sorry to burst your delusional bubble, but my family has already left.
Huh? What do you mean left?
Well, let me fill you in. It means we're not living in the States anymore. We packed up and moved overseas about a month ago. Vanessa's dad is retiring, and he thought it would be a great idea for me to take over as the new CEO of his company. Even though my own company was doing great at the time, I still couldn't say no to Vanessa's dad's offer. He had helped me a lot back when I was building my own company, you know. So, yeah, that's basically it.
Hold on a second. You're telling me now that you're the big shot CEO of a multinational company Vanessa's dad used to own? No way. That just seems too impossible to believe.
Yeah? You have a problem with that?
How dare you keep me out of the loop like this? Why on earth didn't you bother to tell me that you've already moved abroad? I can't believe you would leave me in the dark about such a significant decision.
Well, why would I? The last time we spoke, you basically threatened to seek revenge on me, remember? I'm not foolish enough to share every little detail of my life with someone who holds so much resentment towards me.
Oh, come now, I never said I hated you, did I? It's just that I can't stand the fact that you married that lazy, entitled woman, Vanessa.
What difference does it make? You took revenge on me too, didn't you? You were the one who paid off the newspapers, review websites, and fake clients to write those terrible reviews about my company. It was also you who placed those fake orders and made those strange phone calls to my company's hotline, correct? Did you honestly think I wouldn't notice? I'm not a child, you know.
I don't blame everything on me like that.
You always call my wife a leech, but have you ever stopped to think about it logically? Do you honestly believe she needs to exploit my money when her father owns a massive company and rakes in millions each year? His business is 100 times bigger than the one I used to own. She chose to be with me because she genuinely loves me, and I'll be forever grateful for that.
But she's just a spoiled brat. So what's so special about that, huh?
You say she's spoiled. Well, let me tell you, she's been taking care of herself since she was only 16. Besides, even if she is a bit spoiled, I love her just the way she is. In fact, I want to shower her with all the wonderful things life has to offer because she deserves it more than anyone else.
You're out of your mind. You're being way too naive. And she's been taking advantage of that naivety of yours.
No, Mom, it's you who's crazy. And you know what else you are? Meddling, intrusive, offensive, judgmental, unbearable, boundary-crossing, toxic, and downright hateful.
Edward, how could you utter such awful, dreadful words about your own mother? I brought you into this world. I raised you with all the love and care I could give.
Have I ever denied the role you played in my life? But that doesn't excuse your terrible behavior, Mom. Those are two completely different things. Anyway, my family and I are living in a foreign country now. So, good luck on your own. If you ever want to see us again, you'll have to show that you've truly changed. Until then, it's best for us to have no contact. I genuinely hope you find happiness in life, just as your name suggests, Mom. After learning that my entire family had already relocated overseas, my mom had a complete breakdown. She started throwing things around the house and cursing at all of us, but I promptly blocked her number. She tried sending hateful emails, unaware that I had stopped using that email address. Joy even reached out to Vanessa's family and relatives, who promptly reported her to the police for harassment. Fueled by spite, she showed up at the hospital where my wife used to work, hoping to cause a scene. Ironically, she ended up injuring herself and breaking her arm. Luckily for my mom, Vanessa's former colleagues treated her, but they weren't willing to tolerate Joy's bullying like my wife used to. Instead, they gave her a stern lecture about throwing tantrums and interfering with their work. It's clear that my mother still has a long way to go before she can truly acknowledge her mistakes and work towards becoming a better person.